Is it letting you do it? Oh, okay, cool. And now live on your channel, Aliens versus what? Oh, okay. Yeah. Be bored and I'll watch it here. Casual gamer responded to the casual gamer.
We made contact with Weyland-Yutani survivors, led by Cynthia Rodriguez. She claims they're safe in a company bunker. We're not abandoning them to the Xenos. Find a safe route through the caves so we can extract them.
I'm still working on this. Upload. See here. Like anybody's gonna buy this old game. Can't believe Steam's selling it for $40. Battlefield 4. Holy crap! It's like came out like 2010. But that's the premium. That's every single map and a ton of stuff.
Rodriguez, there's no way Weyland-Yutani built all this. So who did?
It's company property. Beyond that, my non-disclosure agreement applies. I strongly recommend you withdraw.
Is the giant head like an executive perk? Esther, you seeing this?
Yes. Curious.
Heads up! Xenos forward!
Paste. Okay. Nice. Shoot him in the face.
That's all of them, for now. Movement! Watch topside!
What do you mean? Yeah, I got it opened up on my phone. No, yeah, I only see one. Oh, you got other people online with you? No. It looks like you got a helper right behind you. Oh.
Private channel, Fireteam. I read a terminal ahead. Access it. Go. Esther, pull what you can. Casual like. Rodriguez keeps asking us to leave. Let's find out why.
Turret? Turret?
Sentry deployed. Grabbing ammo.
Hey, Esther's hack will take time.
Sentry gun ready.
Accessing data. Casual-like.
Swarm rolling in. Perfect timing.
Yeah. I have to see what that's going for on Steam. Of course. Now it's probably like, what, 29? There it goes. I miss all the deals. I get lucky once in a while. No. No, I've been thumbing around upgrading my system.
I am copying everything I can access.
Or kind of building a new one. Or do I build another one? Like I'm like in that quandary. You know. Like really all in all this setup's fine. But I'd like to have I have an editing rig. It just becomes such a big mess. You know, when you're looking for stuff. You know, and then you're always fighting for space.
Heading right for you.
Yeah. Huh. I think those things are a little too tough, don't they?
My access was cut off.
Marines,
it's Rodriguez.
Yeah, no, so that's what
Network's down. What do you do?
been pondering, because you record the game file,
Shot up a mess of Xenos.
Okay.
Maybe acid hit something.
then you edit it, you punch it out, so now you know, say you got one file that's like 20 gig, and then you punch it out,
Get anything
and
off
you
that
edit
terminal?
it. Now, whatever you're using, Adobe or DaVinci,
I will need Endeavor's
You know.
system to decrypt.
then you got another file after that that could be like 25 gig, you know, so you're at like 45 gig total space used, you know. Then if you try to render it down in file size, you know, using like Handbrake, which is a pretty cool program, I gotta get the new one. Yeah, you know, now all of a sudden you're up to 50 gig. I mean, yeah, you can delete all that stuff. The problem is record and delete, record and delete. It really takes, it puts a beating on those M.2 drives. You know, so. But then you got that convoluted mess. Like, I look at my desktop, it's just a mess. You know, I got folders all over the place with this saved here and that saved there. It's like, I like the one, just have one as my gaming rig. That's all it's on it is games, and that's it. The other one to be everything else. So that's like, oh, what do I build, you know?
Swarm coming in behind.
Like, I'm all hip on the new AMD what was it? X670 B650 or something. 660, I forget what it is. They got multiple different ports. Not like you have to be have the best of the best, but I need USB ports. Oh, The only board I found that I liked that was like semi-affordable was like $300. Dude, had to introduce, you know. So that's like what I might go after doing, you know. I mean, you know, motherboard, CPU, RAM. Holy crap! You know, $600 for a CPU, $300 for a main board, $200 for RAM. You know,
Area secure.
in between $800 and $1,000 just in those three things.
Holy in hell, Wayland built all this.
You know, you're not even adding M.2 drives or hard drives yet. Now, I would guess I wouldn't have to go as big CPU.
I'm seeing synth
You know,
power
like I
sources.
said, there's a lot of
Intel
things
over
like
here.
ways you can go. Don't need to spend $600 on the CPU. I could probably go with the smaller one. It'd be faster than the one I have now by a long shot, and I wouldn't be video editing on it. It would just be a gaming CPU. You know, one of those things back and forth. I don't have the money for it now anyhow.
Rodriguez, we got attacked by company synths. Can you shut them down?
But now getting that doctor bill paid off,
They're in a contingency
Yeah.
seat. Only an executive could
that'll save me between $200 and $500 a month. You know, because I'm not going to buy a new graphics card. 40 series, NVIDIA, great cards, awesome performance. You know,
Uniforms don't attack synthetics.
4070 Ti and up,
I'd stay
but
clear.
the prices are just absolutely barbaric, which is ludicrous. You know, the problem is AMD doesn't have anything. It's like they're good, especially for the games I play. They'd be really good because I mainly play shooters. You know, and since I'm not Battlefield nut, AMD cards have always performed really well. My problem, you know, I guess maybe I'm just overthinking it. But I would, you know, for what I play, the resolution I play at, I wouldn't need any of the new ones from either of them. I could skip over this whole generation easy. Because I don't play games like, what was that?
Rearming.
Harry Snotter, The Hollowed Bunghole, or whatever that new game is. Yeah, you know, I've seen it.
Synth defense line.
It's based, but it's yeah, that's cool and all that. But it's like Cyberpunk. To me, it's really another benchmark game. You know, it's a game. From what I see from people I've talked to, you'll only find the game fun if you really found the movies enjoyable. Like if you're really, you know, if you're really into Harry Potter, they say you probably like the game. From what people told me, for what the game costs and what you need to run it at,
Sentry deployed.
you know, good detail, it's another benchmark game, kind of like Crysis was back in the day. And even Cyberpunk is a benchmark game. The replay value, way down. You know, when you're done with it, you'll probably never reinstall it or look at it again. And I've seen, oh, Hogwarts Legacy, is that it? Yeah. I mean, no. Yeah, but you know, everybody's, the first thing, they just call it that. Either which way, I was watching 4K ultra high, and the game's got CPU issues, and the highest new end CPUs. It doesn't utilize them right. You got low CPU utilization, which creates a bottleneck to the graphics card. You know, if you got a 4090 or a 4080, or even a 3090, you know, some high end
What don't kill us just pisses us off more.
6950 XT, and you're only seeing 53 GPU usage and 1440p 4K, and nothing changes between those two resolutions. That's a bad game build. That's a bad engine. Bad game engine. You know, like the new Star Wars game. Wow. Yeah, I got the first one. Was it Jedi Fallen Order? I had the same problem with that, but it wasn't as bad. They're saying the same thing with that. So any game that's made on the Unreal 4 engine has been having horrible CPU. But when I look at games like Hogwarts Legacy, you know, I look at the graphics, and like, if you have an 8 gigabyte graphics card, like a 3070, which is still, GPU core-wise, still pretty good, but it doesn't have enough VRAM. They're making textures in the games, and terrain details and all that, added effects, bigger than 8 gigabytes.
Fireteam.
Like, well, what the hell? The game doesn't look that good. I'm not impressed with it. I'm really not impressed with it. After watching a 20-minute video, some guy fired it up. You know, was doing an online stream, kind of like premiere walkthrough with it. I was like, dude, this game it looks good. I'm not knocking it. It doesn't look good, but for the amount of video RAM that there's nothing spectacular about it. I'm food and hog. You know. That's why I call it a video. Now, like Cyberpunk, if you got the graphics card and you turn everything to high detail, it's pretty sick looking. But the actual gameplay, I feel like it's funky. It's not fun. I haven't. I played it for about 30 minutes. I was like, this game sucks. Just moving around is so... I feel like I'm a robot with stiff arms. You know? Turn right, they don't move. Turn left, there's no fluid motion. It doesn't feel natural. Like, what you're playing here has a more natural look to it. The way everybody moves around. Even Grand Theft Auto has a more natural movement. Cyberpunk looks cool. It's kinda...
The more violent their response will become.
Feels stick figure-ish. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Fireteam, spike the terminal. Esther, hack it.
Yeah. So that's why I tend not to always upgrade my graphics cards, because the one thing I have learned,
I will need Mother's aid. It may
you know,
take time.
is I'm willing to give up settings for a higher resolution. So
Gunfire must have drawn them.
at high detail at 1080p, I can get 60 FPS, but if I turn it down, everything down to medium, and I can still come close to, say, 60 FPS, although we should all try to get more than that. The game just feels better at 80 and 100 and above, you know?
Another sniper.
Check this out.
Watch your heads.
Yeah,
Marines,
I
don't
can
risk
get
your
that.
lives. We are secure here.
And if I go lower game settings, get a higher resolution, at the same frame per second without stutter or micro stutter or screen tearing, I'll do that. I don't always have to go out and buy a brand new graphics. Because I'd still be jamming on my 3070 if during that crypto boom where you had to get on EVGA's list. They sent me, remember when I told you they sent me that email and I just said hell with it and bought it? And I don't regret it. It's a great card. I wish it had about 2 or 3 more gigs of memory. that's NVIDIA's problem. They do it on purpose, so you'll always buy a new part. You know, it's like, nah. And if you want some future proofing, which, let's face it, with electronics and computers, you buy for longevity, you don't buy for future. That's often you replace your parts. You know, that's a question you gotta ask yourself.
Door lock cipher is unusually sophisticated. Wayland synthetics should not be capable of this.
Yeah, it's so funny. I'm watching you play, and the way they jumped out, they almost look like dogs. That's why we are the casual gamers. Play long enough to kill time before you pass out to go your exciting life cycle. 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. What are the other ones you're fighting? Huh. How's that flashy thing? You okay?
I need a medivac now!
No. Oh, you're killing me. Is she really a spitter? I do my best. Well, they all kill you in the end, let's face it. Take out the trash. Trim the trees, cut the grass. Do this, do that. Not that I have to worry about that. Let's see. Oh. You do only what you can do. What is today's date? 31st? Yeah. Uploading 60%, 21 minutes left, and after that's done, it'll take 53 minutes to upload to HD. So you can play it above 1080p. Or no, so you can play it above 480p. That's funny. 1,240 views, man. For a guy getting slapped in the face in Grand Theft Auto. That's just priceless. Too bad you didn't have GTA 5. I'm sorry, we would have fun in that game, because I actually don't play the game. I just kind of drive around and smack people around and aggravate other players.
Honecker is somewhere up on Katunga's mainframe decks. Looks like he's been searching for a safe place to hide from all the Xenos aboard.
Yeah,
the mission hasn't changed.
Stuff
Find
I do.
him, get him out
Or
alive.
I'll go back to the hotel and just get drunk and watch, you know, GTA TV. Drive around, pick up hookers, you know, and get our money back. Gonna be okay, Mike. No. No, I would never notice. Yeah, so it's not gonna make much of a difference for me. No. Now, is that random person a real person or a computer generated?
Honecker, you out there? Staff Sergeant Herrera, Colonial Marines.
Yes. Yes, thank you.
He's in a radio dead zone. Patch into the local network. Honecker, you read?
Yeah, a lot clearer. Listen, to get to me, you'll have to go through the network security room.
Let's go. Hey,
Ugh.
this intel.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I can't okay, I can delete these two. How much are these two together? Wait a minute. This one is how big? 7 gig. Okay. Deleting these two, saving 15 gig for an 8-minute video. How big is this one? So that was 15. 11 gig. Delete that one. That's like 27 gig. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? How it can get real messy and you can get shit lost real easy. Like I'm still working on my top 5 gaming headsets. And those one, you know, this one is like really actually, I wouldn't say means a whole lot to me. Kind of like my mouse review one, which I tried all those mouses, other than I think like one.
Just the sound of bugs
Not sure
in
if
the
it was
bottom of a combat boot.
Full series or something, but I had the Logitech G0305. I really liked it. And yeah, the Razer Viper Ultimate. And I just like that one more. It felt better. They both worked the same. I mean, within reason. Mouse is a mouse, you know.
Rearming.
The Corsair one I liked. It was too bulky.
Sentry deployed. Grabbing ammo.
No, I see. I would have to watch the video. No, it wasn't the Corsair. Yeah. Maybe it was the Steel Series.
I'm glad you're here. I can see you on my monitors now.
Because I got it off Amazon. I ended up sending it back. It cost me like a few bucks for restocking or whatever. And to me, it was worth it. So if I'm going to spend that much money on something like that, no. Sometimes I just want to try it. Was it go like ding?
Left side, watch the ceiling.
Like on the wireless headset one I'm doing, I have actually tried the Corsair HS80. And I sent it back. They weren't bad. Felt a little cheap. I didn't like the fact that the microphone boom arm doesn't come off or even really retract. So that one went back. The other one. HyperX. I don't know why people rant and rave about the HyperX. I thought they sounded like crap.
Wow.
You know, the microphone was about the same as what I'm using.
Very differently.
And they felt really cheap.
Sorry.
You know?
Have you seen a gray striped xenomorph?
But they were cheap.
Striped? No.
Have you been down to the surface? Did you make any arrests?
Obviously the ones I own, which is the
on an
Razer,
open channel, Doc.
whatever.
Right. Yeah, of course.
Where the hell did it go? There it is. Okay. Yeah, the Razer Black Shark V2 Pro wireless. These things are really good for gaming headsets. They sound good. They do get a bad rating for their microphone, but I haven't heard anybody use a gaming headset wireless to where their microphone sound was phenomenal. It's either been decent or good or horrible. You know?
Somebody bagged a few bugs here.
Yeah, that was me. Rigged some pipes to blow.
I could say so many things right now.
Got a mechanical failure in the door. Ambush in the rear.
Sentry's ready to go.
So is that a recharge? Oh, it's in your backpack blowing. Oh, okay. No, actually, I can't hear it because on my phone, I got my headset on.
That just beats everything.
Well, they still died to bullets, Doc. Marines, cut the door.
But that's like the reason why I want to, I know I'll get around to it, I just don't know how I'm going to do it. I got to clear a lot of stuff off of my phone.
Working Joes.
100 gigs
Ain't
worth
those
of,
Sikhs and robots?
you know,
Yeah,
system storage.
Sixon used to own Katanga.
I don't have a GoPro. I was going to order that other action cam. It's like a GoPro, but it, nah, you know, I don't think I need to get that far into it. But I want to do the teardown of my 3080 and the repaste. And
So, the halls between you and me are
what's that?
below zero, so...
Maybe we should hire him for work.
Sentry's ready to go.
You'll have to cut the refrigerant to reach me. It broke the
What's
valve.
that?
Tossed the wheel in a side room. Sorry.
Hit the door.
Oh yeah, I don't know if they're cute. I mean, if it had boobs, you know, maybe.
Rearming.
Yeah, that's it. Just attach it to the valve in the pump room.
They're non-binary. You must use the right pronouns.
Behind you!
Oh, yeah. So basically, you gotta kind of strafe back and forth just to try to keep your shot semi-straight.
In theory.
If you're if you're shooting from a distance. Somebody help him. You were getting your ass slapped around. You know what that xenomorph was telling you? You never pay attention to me.
I'll get those
How come you don't love me? I'm gonna smack your bitch ass around. But yeah, no, so I got the... Eventually, when I get around to it.
It's already getting red hot in there. Move fast, Fireteam.
Get this headphone done.
Through the door. Ambush.
Rearming.
Motion in the ducts around you. Get hot.
Sentry's ready to go.
This size things. Oh, that's a small one. Oh, that's why it's taking forever to upload. Because I'm talking online and you're using the upload from that.
Big ones! Is that... No strikes. God.
Time Warner's so screwed up. I'd give up 100 meg for another 20 meg
On the
upload.
left! From the ducts!
You know? Don't get me wrong, I played on people's fiber optic setup out in Brunswick. I got, you know, where they're at. They got the Verizon, whatever. I don't know. One buddy, he's got like something like 300 or 500 upload and
Sorry.
800 to 1,000
Again,
or to a gig download.
It's just... There's one Xeno
And
that...
it's like,
I keep seeing it. I think...
even at 150 meg download, for me, downloading updates and games, it don't bother me to wait. You know, most of the things like 35 gig, but
Hit the
it's
door.
that upload. Time Warner, they're like, no. You know, if you want the 50 meg upload, you're gonna have to spend just $220 on your internet alone.
I reset the access code to the server core.
Dude, you guys suck. You have such a monopoly And Ohio in like the Midwest, Middle America, whatever. Ohio all the way down to Florida. Anybody that's got speculum or spectrum, like you get just crap ass service
Now
for high
we
price.
fight off another damn swarm. Get to cover.
Gun ready.
You know?
Grabbing ammo.
It's like what you got, like what, a 30 or 40 meg upload? 15? Like,
Look up on the data cables.
yeah, I mean you got, you're in the sticks, you got 5 meg upload in Fortnite. I got like, when the last time I checked it was like 315 downloads. Every time you say spitter, I'm just like, yeah, I know. So all my exes.
Got her. She's here. Monica, get out of there.
Actually, one of my exes, I think, is named Monica.
That one knows me. Followed me. And they made it. In the lab on LD-895. It came up here with us. We didn't know until
Grabbing ammo.
the woman who... The one it came out of. Her name was Monica.
Some real haters on YouTube. I love them. I'm looking at this one little short. Short I uploaded. It's got like 900 quick views. It's got like 19 likes and 6 dislikes.
Sentry
I had to
deployed.
turn comments off of them. People were like really just being brutal. Like, yeah, I know we suck. We don't care. We do this for our own amusement. You know? If you happen to be amused along with it, cool. If not, guess what? We don't care.
Sentry gun ready.
We're the Gen X gamers. Well, one of us is. Yeah, you're just really confused.
Grabbing ammo. Sentry deployed.
Well,
Rearming.
you know, how did the one guy online put it? It made
The room I'm
perfect
in?
sense.
It's only supposed to be opened by
Early
company
Gen
admins.
Xers, like I'm
Unlocking
the
takes a
second
couple
wave
minutes.
of Generation X. There's usually
Some of
always
us will be drawn by the
3 and
noise.
4 waves of each,
Vibration.
you know.
Whatever, they'll come. Be ready.
So,
Sentry deployed.
like the first wave of Gen Xers were more like baby boomers. You know, they were just a few years older. You know, the closer that you are to the 60s, like, you know, if you were born like 70,
See this?
71, you're closer to the baby boomers mentality completely. But when you're that second wave, you know, when we say we were the most
Monster drop
feral,
back.
well, we were the most feral.
Sentry's ready to go.
We were the first latchkey.
They're coming.
Because, you know, I try to explain it to people, at least what I experienced, what my parents had experienced, and told me, you know. You coming out of the Jimmy Carter era, there were no jobs. All companies were going into protection mode. The country was in literally a moral depression, you know, people individually. Things were just closing up. Nobody would do nothing. You know, you had the gas price, all this other crap. Thing with who else? There was Castrol. Terrorists took all those hostages at that time and all the planes they were. It was a bad time, but economically it was horrible. So you come into the 80s, you're dealing with all the spending the Democrats and liberals did then, and they did do that. Or piss poor politicians, we'll just call it that. So you had high inflation and high interest rates coming in the 80s. Reagan comes in. You know, he cuts taxes, he makes Americans feel like Americans again. The economy starts booming, even though we had 2 recessions. His terms. It was still one of the largest economy booms in American history, even now. You know, but when you have high interest rates and things are still kind of expensive, because the first 4 years were left over from, you know, Jimmy Cotta, Jimmy Crack Corn, peanut butter man, peanut farmer. Both parents had to work, so the kids that came home from school had a key to get in the house, and they were left at home till like, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock. You know, sometimes 10 o'clock at night. So when you're a little kid, you get bullied. You're coming home crying because you're looking for mommy or daddy, and they're both working because they have to. That's what we tell people. Well, we don't really have any. You can piss me off, yeah.
God.
You're not going to really hurt me.
Finally.
Board's clear.
You know.
Collect our man.
You can't really say anything that's going to devastate me, make me quit, or, you know, like, kind of whatever.
So, you have a ship or
Because for
something?
the most part, we had to literally fend
I
for
don't have a
ourselves
spacesuit.
across the board. You know, I mean, my home situation is different. Everybody's is, but when you do the average, you know, if you were born in, I would say 1970 to 1973, that first, second wave of Generation Xers, were mentally tough because there was no mental awareness. You just were told to get over it. You know. You know, I'm pretty sure your dad was still a baby boomer. He probably told you, hey, what are you crying about? You want me to give you something to cry about? You know? Yeah, so. And we.
You found an issue of Ion Seekson?
Yeah.
Dang. The company hasn't published that for like 30
That's why I
years.
tell
A
people
century
like
ago, Seekson was real big,
little
one of
Nicky
the
at work. I'm
interstellar
like,
corporations.
you don't understand how
They
soft
put
it
their
is
money
right
into
now.
deep space platforms. O'Neill
You're
colonies.
so
Asked by the
overprotective, it's
2140s,
actually
Seekson was on their way down.
worse for you.
These days, they make cheap knockoffs of other
You
people's
know?
stuff, like those working Josents. I heard in the
Because things are
70s they tried to
shitty.
colonize
You
some
know, you
planets
make
in
the
the
best of
mid-rim.
it.
Wonder what happened.
You know, and like, you guys were born and this technology was around, where I grew up with it day by day. It was like, oh man, you bought an MP3 player, you were the hot shit on the block for about 2 days. Because 3 weeks later, you know, Apple came out with the iPod. You know, it was like, oh, back then it was horrible. Buying CPUs and building computers back then was horrible. I mean, dude, Mike, I tell you, back then you could build a $3,000 gaming PC. It would only last you 6 months until the next hot title came out, and you couldn't play it at all. Like, it wouldn't even play. You know, that's why you'll read old stories and you'll see some of the tech reviewers, especially the older guys that have been around a little bit longer. They'll say like the Cyrus 686 was a great processor for all this stuff, but I think it used integers. So it was good with programming that used that, but newer games and software were coming out. Mainly it was just games, you know, that used floating point decimal, like Quake.
Listen up. Another fire team got KIA'd
made,
with their
you
mission
know,
incomplete.
by
I'm
ID
assembling a
software.
scratch team to finish their
They're
task.
the ones that made,
That's you.
you know,
You'll get
Doom.
more information when you hit dirt.
Quake was the 686, Cyrus 686 killer. You know, like big time. There was a time to where some sockets were dual sockets. You could put a Cyrus processor in an Intel socket and it would work. You know, or you had dual sockets. One would be an AMD socket, one would be an Intel socket. Like none of that's around now. Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because they're not. I was telling Nick about some of that stuff at work. I'm like, you know, that's, you know, when you're born into it, you don't get as excited about new stuff. When you've consistently grown with it, it's a little bit different. And then you get disappointed in some stuff too. Like I miss going to computer shows. Like you probably, I don't know if you lived in Ohio at this time, but back in the early 90s, you would go into the Berea Fairgrounds. They would have like three of the, you know, stable barns or whatever. Or I just call them tents. 3 big areas, you know, and there'd be thousands of people there, and there'd be all these vendors selling motherboards, mice, RAM, graphics cards, monitors, all kinds of new tech, you know, just anything, a fan, you know, you name it, you could find it, and it was cool because if you were paying in cash, you could wheel and deal. You can't do that now. That's all gone. You know? God, you used to be able to drive down Brook Park Road, and on both sides of the road, after where Best Buy is, I don't know if you know where that's at. Where Best Buy is on Brook Park Road? Okay. If you get off of 480, and it's, you know, Best Buy would be like, you make a right, and then Best Buy would be like on the right side. You used to turn left there on Brook Park Road, and you would go down that side, and there would be little computer stores on both sides of the street for about a mile down.
We made contact with Weyland-Yutani survivors,
You
led
know,
by Cynthia Rodriguez.
and it was cool
She
because
claims they're safe in a company
hey, if
bunker.
this guy didn't have
We're
it, he
not
went here.
abandoning them to the Xenos. Find a safe
Or
route
if this
to
guy
the
was
case
selling it
so
for
we can
$80 here,
extract
you go,
them.
this guy, oh, I'll give you 50. You know, if you pay me cash, I'll give it to you for 40. Now it's just like, well, whatever Amazon and Newegg selling it for is what you're gonna pay. Oh yeah, I mean, we go way back. You know, it's so funny because it was the way it worked for PC gaming.
You can see the bulkhead wall. My view's great.
You either had, I forget what NVIDIA card, because NVIDIA was not the best back then. They were kind of very meh. They weren't even really good. They were the new kid on the block. You had Diamond Multimedia. They made their own graphics card. It was, you know, they had the Diamond Stealth, the S3 Trio Chrome. I think that's what it was called. You know. Quit not on you.
Rodriguez, there's no way.
You know, then you had 3D effects, which those were add-on cards.
It's company property. Beyond that, my
which were really cool. Then they came out with their own complete dedicated graphics card. So you had like ATI, 3D Effects, NVIDIA, Diamond Multimedia. So you had choices.
Whoa. Big giant head.
Believe it or not, even back then, Intel made a graphics card back then. It just, they didn't really care about that. Back then, they knew where the money was at. They were getting into the server business. And it's like now, really, all you have, well, you have 3 now, but I don't think anybody's buying the Intel A770 graphics card. I thought about it as a second. But, yeah, I think dude, I mean, if you wanted to play 4K games today on a good monitor, with modern titles,
Board's clear. Keep moving. Movement in the walls.
I mean, as I said, you're paying between 400 to 600 plus just for the CPU. On average, the main boards are going for 300 plus. RAM is, between 170 to 200 plus. And now you need specialized power supplies because NVIDIA decided to change the way their cards work with that proprietary plug. Not that I ever had a problem spending a lot of money on a power supply. I think you buy a really good rock solid power supply, it'll last you 2 or 3 builds or years. And I'm living proof of that. I got what's in my new setup that I built 3 years ago, which is my 3900X
Private channel.
570 Asus Prime Pro, 32 gigs of DDR4, 3200 RT. What is that? GeForce RTX 3080, 10 gig.
Asking us to leave.
Let's
find out why.
Got no complaints with the overall system. The power supply I'm using is from my 2010 build. 1,000-watt power supply. D-Sonic. Back then, I paid $240 for it. I was like, what are you spending that much on a power supply for?
Sentry's ready to go.
I'm like, they're the best of the best. But I understand.
Grabbing ammo.
Well, it's proven it because it's still running now. And I've had no problems with it. Like, I've never had the power failure drop out your system.
Esther's hack will take time.
A voltage drop
Accessing data.
from the power supply. I've never had any of that. As every so often,
Because of course there is.
usually when it starts to really get warm outside, I take it out. I take the screen off of it. So I open it up, I blow out all the dust, put it back in. Like, yeah, never skip on a power supply. That's one thing I tell people that build the PC. I go, matter of fact, make that for your first big budget purchase. Make your graphic. Uh-oh. So is it just you and that other guy now? Yeah.
Not an update, Esther?
I am copying everything I can access.
Most bots do is like cause a distraction. But yeah. Well, yeah, because they're
Something big and nasty coming your way.
Yeah, but that's what I was. Buy your graphics card last. And if you got to save up for it, complete your build, better to do that. Get all the important shit first. You know, you don't have to spend a lot on a motherboard. Make sure one that's got enough USB ports. Good for your RM. RAM, buy as much RAM as you can afford. Me, right now,
My access was cut off.
anything under 32 gigs, kind of pushing it. Depending on what you want to do.
What are you doing?
We shot up a mess of
You know,
Xenos.
the days of 16 gigs are kind of going away.
Esther, you get anything up?
What do you got? What do you run? 16?
Encoded files. I will need Endeavor's mother system to
Tell you what, it's nice having 32. You don't notice so much of system performance improvement, but what you notice is a lot more fluidity. There's a lot less hang or snag time, like when you're switching stuff. Dude, like right now, I could really stress my system. If I had this game, I could probably be playing with you online while editing on another screen. And still streaming. And that's nice, jumping back and forth from window to window. And not having the computer like do that 1 second like snag, kind of like lock up feel. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. It's annoying as shit. I like that.
Big movement. Reorient.
And I noticed that because when I first built this setup, I only had 16 gigs and I was always having that problem. It's like, okay, if I was doing one task required, like I could actually use all 24 threads on my CPU. No. Gotta make the game somewhat tough. I'm just messing. But yeah, when I had 16 gig, I was in DaVinci Resolve, just running just one program. It was fine. I started hooking up more monitors, and I would be like what happened to, no, actually, you hadn't started yet, there yet.
That's the last.
Like we hadn't gotten online. Like I didn't even have Discord yet.
Hell, Wayland built all this.
preliminary ES.
But when I would get on with my buddy Brian, I was trying to record gameplay on another monitor, and I only had 16 gigs. I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Who made this?
Hey, grab this intel.
Like, oh, I don't have enough resources. Because I'd be playing Battlefield 5 with ray tracing on.
Synth power sources.
You know, that would eat up close to 12 gigs of memory. Well, you only got 4 left. And Windows is going to allocate 2. You know, so you're really operating like 1.5 to 2 gigs of memory
We got attacked by company synths.
to have
You
free
shut 'em
space.
down?
In Battlefield, EA games have horrible memory bleed over.
Contingency state. Only an
You know.
executive could override them.
So it's like, you know, always had errors, always had crashes. As soon as I added in gigs, I was like, holy crap. You don't notice it doesn't move faster, it just moves.
Rodriguez, we're seeing synths fighting Xenos.
Xenomorphs don't attack synthetics.
Hey,
Not
if I knew what
unless
type of
they
RAM you were running, I would look to see if I had any. I assume you're running DDR4 because you're what? You got a Ryzen 3600 or 26? Okay. Probably around 3200 megahertz. Yeah, that's my whole thing, man. I try to build for the long haul. But now, the only reason why I want to do setup is really I need more hard drive space. I want to separate the two. I want to get my buddy Eddie online. Dude, you would laugh your ass off with him. He holds nothing back. He don't care. He just says whatever. He'll drop the N word, the F word. He don't care. No. I'm not worried about that. If you can get clicks, likes, subscribes, and hours watched. No, it's not that. Well, you can get away with saying a lot on YouTube. They don't do as much as... I mean, I just watched a Chris Rock episode, and all I heard was an N-word this, N-word that. No, well, now they got it kind of split. I think it depends on the tone of voice that you're using it with.
Swarm, coming in behind.
Like, are you directing hostilities towards somebody? Or are you just being... trying to be funny or, you know, silly or slap happy or doing a shtick? You know? I think it depends on how you do it, how you... He doesn't sit there. It's not like he's a truck driver mouth where it's every other word is the F word. No, it's not like that. But if you're, he's just a trip. No, my buddy Ed's just a trip because he doesn't hold back. I mean, he's not a PC gamer at all. He doesn't even have a computer. What we used to do, play a lot of bad football, you know, online.
We're quite safe. How's your
Well, it's not that hard. Just, you know, I think I have a breakout box somewhere to where I could record the stream with my computer and upload it that way. But we play, you know, we play what he calls, I think, Psycho War football. He basically turned down almost all the penalties. No punting. You're not allowed to punt the ball, and you have to go for it every fourth down. You're not allowed to go for a field goal. You have to be at the 35-yard line or further away. There's no extra point allowed. You have to go for a 2-point conversion every time. You know, and that's the game. Yeah. Oh, dude, when you play a game like that, I mean, by halftime you can get being blown out like 42-0. You know? Because kickoffs, okay? So when you like score a touchdown, you say you get the 2-point or don't, and then you got to kick it off. Every kickoff has to be an onside kick. It can't be a regular kickoff. It has to be an onside kick. You know, it's like the dumbest type of football you could ever play. But that's why we turn the penalties right down, like almost to nothing. Like, you can be a linebacker standing on the football, touching the center's head. You know? Oh, dude, I played him one game by halftime. He asked me if I wanted to quit. I'm like, no, dude, let's keep playing. This is hilarious. Like, I wish we could have recorded this. Because I almost came back and beat him. He was beating me like 64-0. Or 64-10. And I scored 70 points in the second half. You know, you never heard so. He sounded like Yosemite Sam with the F word. I mean, he's a trip. He's a guy I used to work with at my old job. Every once in a while I still text him. I should actually talk to him more. Just, he works during the day and we work at night. Like right now he's probably, but I know he's still up. But during the week, like, you know, 9-10 o'clock he's out like a light. He's like 3 or 4 years older than I am, so he's at like that halfway to 60 mark. You know?
Grabbing ammo.
Another quantum cipher.
Oh, shit.
I will need Mother's aid. It may take time.
You look lost, Mike. Where you going?
Bugs incoming. Gunfire must have drawn them.
Are you waiting for like the next wave?
Sim force incoming. Take defensive positions. Another sniper. Watch your heads.
Marines, don't risk your lives. We are secure
I
here.
got that stupid Burger King song stuck in my head.
Ain't over till it's over.
B
Rodriguez. Sit
A
tight.
have it your way. No, it's funny.
Bugs incoming. Gunfire
No,
must have
actually, it
drawn
looks
them.
pretty cool. If I can actually fire it up.
Clock cipher is unusually sophisticated.
And right.
Synthetics should not be capable of
Close DaVinci Resolve. Oh yeah. Snake. You know, every time I open up the Epic Game Launcher, I never have anything I want. Well, it's not even that. They not, you know, even games that they, Fireteam Elite. Oh, hey. Holy crap, there's a lot of shit for this game. Wait a minute. Oh. Aliens fired. Because the Fireteam Elite. Is $12.
Excuse me. I have unlocked the door.
So what do you got, the base game, or do you got all the
Rally
add-ons?
up, fire team. Nice work, Esther.
What's the expansion called?
The computers here are protected by 16 million character ciphers.
Like the ones on the Katanga Working Joes?
And everything else is just a
Chronogram?
cosmetic pack?
One must admire Wayland Yutani's dedication to network.
Esther,
So it's
seal the door
basically,
behind them.
for those two,
Catch your breath,
right
fire
now,
team. Rodriguez is just ahead.
it'd be about $20. Maybe a little bit over. It's still not bad. It's not a bad looking game. I will put it in. Add to my wish list. And I
Closing in on
can't
Rodriguez's
be
group.
blowing 20
They're at
bucks
the
right
bottom
now.
of an ancient ruin she won't talk about. It's a trade secret. There's
Made
haywire
of money.
Wayland.
Yeah, remember, dude, I had like little over 10 grand saved up. When I went for that colonoscopy and they found those tumors, yeah, I got wiped out of close to $8,000. Close to 8 grand wiped out for me. So that's why I laugh at medical. Because it's sad because I come to find out work, it does pay just, it's actually just a few percent over 80%. Where a lot of other places will pay you more hourly, and even though they offer the same insurance, they're actually putting less into it. Our company actually does spend more than most companies in the same industrial parkway. Yeah. No, it's yeah, it's a ripoff across the board. You know, I'm not mentioning companies or people's names. I'm gonna be a little more slick about this one. I'm not deleting this. There's so much good footage on here I can clip and make something out of. You know, and I mean it's really clean. When you're done streaming it, it processes it. You know, because you're playing 1080p. You know, you can do a lot of stuff there. So I'm gonna keep it cool, but the people that keep saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go down the street and work at this place because they pay more and they have better medical," it's the exact same medical. So, you know, I can understand going for more money hourly. I get that. You can do the job and you'd be happy doing the same work there, roughly at least, the same type.
I got
not the
socks, I
exact
got
same type,
anything
but
not
be
on the
in
racks.
same type
I
of
can pull out of
environment.
cargo for.
And your benefit package is going to be the same, but you're going to be making more hourly? Dude, why not? Unless you're totally comfortable where you're at. You know? I couldn't see. Because the company I'm talking about, everybody else keeps talking about, I'm going to go down the street, I'm going to go down the street. I'm like, well, most of you aren't qualified to go down the street. Now, some of you could go down the street, but you'd be starting over. Now, you would get to that point, cool. But could y'all just shut up about it? Because telling me is not going to get you more money here. I really don't care. I only care about me. You know? Oh, no, I totally agree, but you get tired of hearing it. It's like, dude, what do you want me to do? I don't even like talking about it. Because, you know, there's a few people that we work with that'll come up to you. I applied here and I'm doing this. I'm like, I don't care. You know? Dude, you got to do what you do. Don't. Then they start complaining to me. I'm like, really? Like, how can I make your life better? You know? Like, they're not paying me enough. Yeah, they're not paying me enough either. I should be making more than you. But I'm keeping my mouth shut. Now go away. Why I've been like, if it ain't truly work related, like about what I'm doing, or something I'm interested in, or something that we're doing, you know, like this, anything negative, I don't want to hear it. Like that one guy that we rely on so much at work. I won't. Yeah, it's always, I'm gonna quit here and go work there. I'm gonna quit here and go there. I'm going to this place because they're gonna pay me. They're underpaying. I don't fucking love you to death. You're a great dude. And, you know, a great individual. And you help out a lot. But I can't, you know, what do you want me to do? Run to HR, run to the, you know, the higher ups and be like, you gotta pay this guy more. Shit, they'd fucking bounce me out of there in a heartbeat because they think I was crazy. You know? Companies are designed to be like communism. If they had it their way, everybody would all make the same. You know? I don't know. Don't really care. It just cracks me up when I think about it. But people's like, well, hey, you gonna buy that? Why don't you just go buy it? Just because I'm single and I don't have any kids doesn't mean that I don't have other bills. Or I gotta get back to what I had before. And I know you're just breaking my balls, which is cool, you know. But there's some people that we work with and some of my friends outside of work that I grew up, you know, that I've been friends with for like 20 years. They still do the same thing. Like, you're single, you got no kids, why don't you just go buy that new car? Because I don't have the money for a down payment because I had to save my life because I was bleeding out my asshole. You know? You know, how else to put it? Like, I would love to have a new Mustang or Camaro or, you know, even a Dodge Challenger or even, you know, something fun. It is what it is. I'm not gonna go in and just straight finance the entire freaking auto loan. You gotta throw a couple grand down just to get the taxes out of the way. You know, they're like, well, you're going to trade your car? And I'm like, do you think I'm going to drive a 450, 500 horsepower or 300 horsepower sports sedan, sports car in the wintertime? Crazy. We live in Ohio. You know, April, May, you know, one day it could be like 80 degrees and the next morning the roads are iced over. Yeah. I don't know. Go back to it. I missed it. Oh, I thought you had a different skin on it. It kind of looks like I would like to say the MTAR, but the magazine's up front, so it's kind of like a cross between a bullpup and an AR. Well, yeah, no, I'm still saying. What's that? Oh, I can't think of it. It's actually one of my favorite guns. It was just, we were talking about it before. Not your P90, but the Scar. That has a oh, you already got off of it, but it had a Scar look to it. No, but the rifle you were showing me before. It's like a cross between, the one you showed me before is like a cross between an AR and a Scar. Yeah, that one. The one with the red skull in the center. Like the way the mag's angled forward is like an AR, but the handguard and the buttstock, the underguard's got that Scar look to it. You wish you looked that good. Me too. I got no room to pick on you. Fuck you. Yeah. It's good iced tea. No, I say. The DDR you got? Oh, you got XPG. What is it? Yeah, I'm trying to think who makes that. Delicious duels. XPG brand. No, that's right. They're their own company. Yeah, okay. I wonder if you got 3200 megahertz. You actually get that pretty cheap now. No, like DDR5 is the standard. That's why I always tell people, when you build a PC, just don't skip on your power supply, buy your graphics card less, and buy the most CPU and the most RAM you can get. You know? If you're not an upgrading person, then try to get the most you can afford. And just ride it as long as you can. This is like the first wave of DDR5. Wait 3 years from now, DDR5 is going to be like running like 10,000 mega transfers. You know, somebody will call it 10,000 megahertz, but it's 10,000 mega transfers. You know? And we'll still be gamifying on DDR4 3200 or 3600 or whatever, you know? So, dude, I mean, I gamed on two 7970 HDs and Crossfire for like 10 years. Well, whatever Battlefield 5 came out. Then I had to upgrade. I like had to upgrade my graphics card. The game was so wonky. I didn't have enough video memory because I only had 3.5 gigs of video. You know, that's how I'm weird like that. I'll lower graphics settings if I can crank resolution. Because sometimes cranking the resolution will make up for, you know, the loss of some textures. And, you know, the higher resolution. It's like a trade-off. You know, fine lines or more eye candy. That's what I did for like a long time. I've never had a problem. Well, that game came out. Or no, it wasn't Battlefield 5. Battlefield 1 is the one I had problems with. But I could get it to play. Battlefield 5 wouldn't even play. Like, I could put it on ultra low settings, and I would have to, like, drop it down to, like, 720. You know? Just to get, like, 50 to 60 frames a second. If I put it at 1080, I was like, I had bounced from like 70 down to 20 frames, up and down, because I just didn't have the video memory. I was like, fuck, really? And I bought a 2070. I think I played on that for about a whole year. That's when I realized NVIDIA sucks ass. How old is the game? It doesn't look that old. The graphics look fairly new-ish. Yeah, but I don't... What does it say? Release date. Okay, well, it's not terribly old. No, it's not really... You know, it says 20... This was released August 24th of 2021. Yeah, and I still love playing like a 10-year-old game. You know, I'll play... That's why I say I think a lot of today's modern AAA games are more about eye candy and pushing hardware as hard as they can, and less about the actual game. You know? I mean, the graphics just got to be good enough, but there's got to be a lot of depth. The controls can't be so intricate, you know. That's why I don't like playing those battle royale games. You gotta hit like 10 different buttons to put this attachment on, and this magazine, and this body armor on, and you know, when you kill them, then you gotta like loot all their stuff and find what they have. You know, I gotta punch 10 different keys to do something simple, you know. No, that doesn't work for me. That's why I play games like Left 4 Dead because it's simple. If I just want to kill time, and I want to play a mindless game that I don't want to think, just have fun with. Not about doing good, just killing time. You know, those are the games that I tend to like the most. You know, Left 4 Dead, Wreckfest. I'm trying to think of other. Doom Eternal, even. But yeah, I look at games like Hogwarts Legacy. Okay, no, I don't think so. Cyberspunk. It looks beautiful. Looks like a pain in the ass to figure out.
When we took out Cynthia, she triggered something, some contingency plan by Weyland Yutani. Now Esther's seeing gravity and power distortions under the surface of LV-895. You're going
I
back
think
into
the thing
the
that
ruins to
disappointed
find
me
the
about
source.
it is when I look at it from a hardware standpoint, okay, it's not that good looking enough graphically to require so much system resources. It's not that special. I'm not saying I'm not in that storyline, obviously, but that has nothing to do with that. I'm talking about. I don't know about the actual depth of the game. I'm when I say Hogwarts Legacy, I'm really talking about the hardware requirements. This poor game engine. Because if you got a brand new 13900K and you got a 4090 and you're at like 4K, you got
Fireteam, we need to
ultra
locate
settings
the
maxed
anomaly.
out.
I got
To
Esther and
fire up
Conacher on the
MSI
line for
Afterburner
assist.
or even NVIDIA
I just
little
speaking of this. Okay. Hello.
system info thing, and you're looking at GPU utilization, and you're not even at 93%. Or even the high 80s. You're like at 53%. And you look at your CPU, and they're bouncing around 20 to 30%. There's something wrong.
Listen.
And that's why the game hitches real bad. It has really bad stutter. I mean, this is like a hot topic going all over the place. Yeah, games made on the Unreal 4 engine are kind of sucky. And they're not as good looking as they should be for the amount of resources that they use. That's the problem. That's the problem I have with them. I have Cyberpunk. I loaded it up, I played it, I'm like, this is not for me. It doesn't do nothing for me. It's fun to look at. But that wears out thin.
What?
Now somebody out there will
What am I
probably
looking
argue
at
with
here?
me. No, Cyberpunk was great and all that stuff. I'm like, no, dude. When I walked up to the guy and I punched him in the head and then knocked him to the ground, it looked so fucking stupid.
Might we investigate?
Like Left 4 Dead, when I punch a zombie and I
Not a
splatter
lot of
his
time to
face,
screw around,
he
S.
falls
Be
like a
fast.
zombie should fall. When I'm in Grand Theft Auto and I whack the guy in the head with a baseball bat, he falls down like he got whacked in the head with a baseball bat.
Another swarm from behind.
There's another game. Didn't the new Diablo game come out? I was gonna say, didn't you and our cohort? Yeah, our cohorts at work, didn't they try it out? I don't. Yeah, there you go. Light up the whole room. Dude, that was so bright when I looked down and it actually flashed my eyes. Yeah, when I watched you play this game,
Cynthia had her forces scan
I would
carvings
probably, I know I
around
would
the
have
complex.
a hell of a lot more fun playing this,
What for?
even just dicking around,
Can you read them?
than I would with
Not without a
Cyberpunk.
transliteration to begin from.
No. Well, no, Cyberpunk's not a real RPG. No, I know quite a lot about the game.
More car.
It's just the movement is clunky, the gameplay is horrible.
For us. She can work
You
on
know.
the translation later.
Grabbing ammo. I'll get those bastards for
No,
this.
it's not even that. I've watched other people play it. It still looks the same.
Rearming. Grabbing up.
Graphically, it's impressive.
Don't worry,
I mean,
it's just a flesh wound.
it's what we all call a benchmark video game.
Nice, an 8 kit.
The game itself is not very good, and that's been pretty much stated. Other than fanboys out there that are protecting their purchase, you know. Like I said, you just need decent graphics, great depth,
There is a commonality.
ease of use
A
of the
sequence
game.
shared with the first
In other words,
assault.
anybody can figure out the basics and still have fun.
Scanner must have
You know.
pissed him off somehow.
I'm more of a multiplayer person. If I'm going to play an RPG, I'm going to play something like Final Fantasy. Or, God, back in the PlayStation 1 days, we had them. Oh my God, me and my buddy Spud, my old job, that was his nickname, called him Spud. He was a cool dude, him and his brother Terry. No. Actually, I think his brother ended up making more money than our Terry does. He was super smart.
Second wave coming in. Keep up the pressure.
No, I think they're in the six-figure category. You know. Especially when I try to keep names out of it since we're live, but since one of them that we talk to quite often, you know, he's a cool guy, and he obviously earned his way to where he was at. I'm totally not. But I was talking to him about cars. And, yeah. He's got to be a six-figure guy to own cars. Especially if you bought him new.
Warrior on the deck.
Like, you and me can go to BMW and get approved for a loan to buy a BMW M8, M5 class.
No more signals.
We can't
Keep
afford
moving.
the upkeep on it. No.
Rearming.
So, yeah.
The exit is sealed by Wayland devices. A moment, please.
Watch behind, Fireteam.
You have to text me and tell me who said that. Was he a total die guy? They're the office guys?
How did they get human tech to work with this door?
Clearly, Wayland Yutani studied this complex for years. Long before you arrived, Doctor.
Doors open. Get moving.
I know.
Sergeant.
I'll mention guys' names that are not there anymore,
Is related to the anomaly.
you know, for safe's sake. I don't know if you remember Brian
Fireteam,
from
scan the
Tool
car
and Die.
bins fast and be ready for buzz.
You know, he was like 32 an hour. You know. You talking about our
I feel
our
there are no
CEO?
patterns I can match.
Oh yeah, they all make that. Yeah, when you break it. Yeah, when you break it down. Yeah. Yeah, actually, our supervisors are paid kind of low compared to other supervisors in other companies.
Dinos, on your ass!
Yeah, I mean, it's in the same thing. Just like where we're at, they call them team leads, and I call you're an assistant supervisor, but you have no power, so quit acting. You know? Not a team lead. No, that's what I was saying. We call them team leads. Team leads are nothing more than assistant super. Yeah, they assist the supervisor. They just give it a different title because there's slightly different things that are done. But I mean,
Good to go? Hope it was worth it.
yeah, when my dad had the bowling alley and I was a
What was
manager
Cynthia
there,
doing
I
down
paid
here?
more than our guy that considered my
In her final
boss.
moments, she suggested there was an
14 years
existential
ago.
threat to humanity here.
You know,
One that
you say
synthetics
he
were perhaps better suited to deal with.
if you get over it, because what can you do about it? You know, you can't dwell on
There's
it.
a magnetic
You only
anomaly
learn from
nearby.
it. Either you want to go through it again,
Grabbing ammo.
or you don't want to deal with that
Fine,
bullshit again, and the
last
money just
one,
wasn't worth it.
Then we focus on the big
You know,
anomaly.
everything's a choice. I mean, I could work my credit back up, get a business line of credit, go out and buy a business, and do it all over again. This time it would be all on me. It would be like an inherited
Get
thing.
scanning, Fireteam.
Yeah, I remember I still worked for somebody. I worked for my mom. Yeah,
Those jars.
but you know,
Already had
look,
these symbols.
when I said I wasn't kidding when I said I made over
We
80,000
still
a year
require
for
a
a few
key to
years there,
translate that.
but I was working 2 jobs.
Dinos!
No. And then when Obama became president and the whole market crashed, I lost everything I'd ever saved up. So, and I'm not the only. Yeah, well, imagine having close to $182,000 saved up, and all that was left after that whole house was about $12,000. All because they went on a bank run to try to socialize medicine for healthcare. That was the end result. That's the whole reason why. You know, and me being young and dumb and hanging out with my friends at a party and not paying
The
attention,
jars. That's where
You
the
know,
pathogen came
couldn't
stored in.
get through in time to,
The experiments we ran,
So
the
often
mutations, all
save
from
something.
those.
you know.
There's so few. And
Yeah, you want to talk about being depressed for a few
where are
months
the
there,
rest?
or a few years. Yeah, because I was going to take a big chunk of that, and that was going to be my, you know, back then, you could still find a house for 80, 90,000 because it's just me. You know, I don't need a basement, a big house, a slab house with a couple rooms. As long as it's got a toilet, and a bathroom, and a kitchen, I'm fine.
Grabbing ammo.
You know, it could be a detached car garage. I don't give a shit.
That's different.
You know. Yeah. Yeah, a decade and a half ago, I could have. I would have only had to probably take out a $20,000 loan. That's nothing. You know. Now that same house is like $182,000. And it just is what it is. You know, you take a $200,000 house as opposed to $310,000 to $400,000. You know, keep spending that money, big government. But you know, I laugh at these people. Yeah, but you're making more money. I go, it all equals out in the end. You're still behind. All that did was take, you know, making the base pay for most jobs now $15 an hour for newbies that don't know how to tie their shoes,
Insufficient
You
data
know.
to speculate.
and it turned 20 to semi 20 plus an hour, $1 an hour jobs. They turned them into the new modern $15, $17 number job. So you got nowhere,
The far platform.
you know,
There's Wayland equipment.
other than just more national stress. I don't know. Don't want to talk about all that crap. No, yeah. I'm still looking at it. Yeah, get out Steam before I start spending stuff I don't have.
Door head's sealed.
Because
Check the Wayland shit.
I just paid off my
Cynthia
Amazon
did it.
account, Saturday.
Catching up.
I bought that all-in-one liquid cooler.
Don't worry, it's just a flesh wound. Rearming. Nice. 8K. Grabbing ammo.
I'm gonna take a risk on that. I can't believe yours went out like that. That's just odd. Usually you can get an easy 5 to 7 years out of a decent one.
Could control the doors. Fireteam, rig a connection for Esther.
Really?
Mine is ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, either mount it to the front of your case or to the top. You know, as long as it's, you know, basic mounting.
Accessing the
As long as the water's above the pump, you know.
There is a remarkable amount of data here. Stand by.
I don't know. You know, oh, I'd love to build a complete custom water loop. That's just so crazy expensive. It's like, man, you better buy all the top of the line stuff. As far as like graphic card and CPU and all that shit. Better get some time out of it. Yeah, I got bored. I went to the one place, AWB, water cooling. And I priced up, you know, oh, what would it cost me to water cool my 3080 at the time? You know, and my seat. And I was like, okay, well, we'll go crazy. Let's do a dual radiator. You know, and when all said and done, just for everything, for all the fitting, not hard to, the regular soft tube. Man, we're over $700 just freaking water cooling setup. You know, I was like, fuck. You know? I remember back in the day when we used to sit there and stick our computer on the little ledge in our windowsill in the wintertime, you know, and just let the fan suck in cold air.
The door can be opened from
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I did have a water cooling set up a long time ago on the Intel Pentium 4 socket 478. We're talking a long time ago, close to 16 years ago, I think. You know, but you went to a place where they sold pond reservoir pumps. You bought an IM pump. You went to an auto parts store. You bought an all copper core, pure core for a car. You know, you bought barbs. You went to a fish store and you got your 3/8 making tubing. You know. Then you went to this company online called Danger Den and you bought your CPU block. You know. Yeah, you could do it for about $200. We used to get crazy. I had a cooler. Well, you know, they are supposed to kill you. It is.
Esther's got the door. Secure the room.
What, are you by yourself now? Oh, you still got a human? No. But yeah, I had an igloo, you know. Yeah, I had an igloo beer cooler that sat underneath my desk. I would fill it halfway up with water, put ice in it, and that was my chiller. You know?
Who needs an 8K?
Used to put neoprene, Vaseline,
Of this facility.
get the condensation off the motherboard while it was turned on.
The engineers.
Esther, you can read the text.
Oh man, we did some
Yes,
wild stuff.
It is
That
very
was
similar
before
to
AMD
Proto-Indo-European,
had
prehistoric human
CPU
dialect.
throttling
Why is
protection.
an alien language so similar to an ancient human one?
So, like, if your fan on your
The
cooler died,
implications are-
you know, there's I should dig it up. There's this AMD Thunderbird. Okay, single core CPU. It went something like 700 degrees Celsius. They put a little skillet on it. They fried an egg. They actually cooked the egg till it burnt. And then the CPU finally popped. Because that was the big selling point way back in that was the one thing that made Intel really popular with the home users. You know, the way it was being sold by retailers is, hey, Intel's got thermal protection. So if your cooling device inside your computer fails, the CPU won't die. The system will just shut off. AMDs didn't do that. They just kept getting hotter and hotter and hotter until they popped. Which is really funny because I had an Intel Pentium 4, 1.7 gigahertz. So funny when you think about that now, 1.7. We're like that's not even the base clock of some of these CPUs now. I popped that in. I did everything right. And the CPU exploded and popped the heatsink off the motherboard. Elegant Intel, did you overclock it? I'm like, no. I go, this is a board that has no overclocking features. This is strictly a work machine. Because back then, how like you have AMD Radeon. Before that they were ATI Radeon. You had something called the All-in-Wonder Pros, and they had a TV tuner on it, built-in capture device, like S-Video and all that. They were the first true multimedia card, where you could hook a VCR in and do straight recording on your hard drive in MP4. Or actually back then, but I think it was MPEG-1. But still, whatever. Yeah. I think it was more fun, but today's stuff runs a lot better. But on that note, I think I'm going to motor here, because I got to take a shit. Alright, home. Yeah, it's almost 1. Like 10 to 1. No, definitely save this one. There was some good splatterfests. You'll have to do the other one again. I did pull it down. Yeah, I just uploaded a Battlefield 1. Battlefield 4. Thinking about doing Battlefield 2. I just gotta find a way to get it on my computer because I have it on CD-ROM. Yeah, I have a CD-ROM player, but I don't want to do it the hokey way. Having a bunch of cables hang out. Yeah, pretty much.